time to post. I gotta post something. I gotta post something. Unique and Natural started our soap of the month almost a year ago now. Is that crazy? And we've been growing. We've been getting new soap of the month clients and people signing up for not only the big box, the family box, but we've got people that are just interested in a bar of the month and they're getting the single bars. So I got a post now and I need to show y'all how we're making all of our. So I decided I'd go ahead and start with this month, March 2025, and I would showcase how I made the soap called You Had Me at Aloe. And that inspiration, by the way, came from my mom. My she's pretty fair skinned and she loves the sun. Unfortunately, fair skin and sun don't usually go together very well. So my mother would usually burn, but she always kept an aloe vera plant in the house. And so she would scrape that aloe vera and put it on her skin or ours if we sunburned. And I just remember how soothing it would be. And I thought, spring break is here. Folks are going to be out in the sun. Families are going to be traveling. And welcome in green time, springtime. So let me show you how we make this soap that I now call You Had Me at Aloe. We're going to start out with some distilled water. The recipe calls for 20 ounces, but I did make an oopsie. We really do need to divide that in half aloe and half water. And if you're going to be using the aloe, make sure to freeze it and use it in the frozen form so it doesn't scorch. To my distilled water, I'm going to add 8.98 ounces of sodium hydroxide. And since I did add a little bit extra water for this recipe, it just means I'll have to let these bars cure a little bit longer. The oils that I'm using in this recipe are 20 ounces of organic coconut oil, 20 ounces of olive oil, 20 ounces of palm oil, and 2 ounces of castor oil. You might have noticed that I did not use ice or the frozen aloe that I mentioned in my lye water. And that's because I'm going to be using the heat transfer method. So what is the heat transfer method? Well, basically it is making your lye water so that it is hot and ready to pour over your solid oils and transfer the heat from that lye water to the oils to melt them. So in this manner, I don't really want to start with my emulsion blender. I want to do exactly what you're seeing me do now, and that is just kind of stir those solid oils around, and they're mostly the coconut and the palm oil. Let them absorb the heat from the lye water and kind of naturally melt. Once I'm happy with the amount of melting the oils have done, or I just don't see them melting anymore, I'll go ahead and pull out my stick blender. And what I'm doing is focusing on just the lumps of coconut oil. I'll push them down and I'm kind of feeling them with my emulsion blender and just getting them to go ahead and complete the melting process. Now I'll stir some more so that I don't over emulsify this blend. Just keep in mind we're going to be using 3 different colors. And if we go ahead and bring it to a medium or even a heavier trace than that, it's going to be a little bit harder to work the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance oil now, and then I'll start to add in my colors. Since my soap is green theme inspired, I'm using a combination of green tea, cucumber, a hint of lime, and green apple. So here's where I made my second oops. I poured out some of the soap to get ready to add the color, but I forgot to put my aloe vera in. Oh my gosh, I'm making aloe vera soap. I chose 3 different colors of mica. This one is the slightly lighter green. I'm also going to choose a kind of a foresty yellow, and then I'm also going to choose a darker green mica. And it's about now that I remember, Nikki, go get the aloe vera gel and add it to the aloe vera soap. Yeah. Once I correct for that, we're back on track. And as I mentioned earlier, I knew right away this soap was going to have to take extra time to cure. It happens. Been making soap a long time. It's still gonna be good soap, y'all. I have to say, I was really pleased with how the aloe vera blended into the batter. It really gave it a nice, smooth cake batter feel, and it still left enough time for me to be able to work with my colors and do my swirl. So, this method, I have to honestly say, I wasn't quite sure how it was going to turn out, but man, did it come out great. So if you notice, as I'm doing the colors, I'm going to be pouring each of them sort of down the middle of the loaf. Now, here's where I think I had a really successful moment. Right before I pour this deeper foresty type green, I actually decided to kind of smooth out and do kind of a low swirl. I later realized when I pulled this out to cut it, that was a perfect thing to have done. It gave this very leaf-like foliage texture at the bottom of the loaf. And then when I went to later do a swirl with my spoon, it just kind of lifted each of those layers through the top of the mold. And you'll see that when I cut it in just a little bit. Now, I thought I was going to be done after I put the glitter on the top of this loaf, but then I realized it was missing a little something. So I went ahead and grabbed some glycerin soap and I made these little, really what they are, kind of like a watermelon half, but colored them almost the color of the aloe to match the soap. And I just put them in and it turned out to be really perfect. I was really pleased with that. I really enjoyed making this bar. Despite the extra water content, I was really pleased with how it came out. Look at these beautiful lines and swirls. Stay tuned for the cutting content clips. And if you're interested in becoming a Soap of the Club member with Unique and Natural, please visit uniqueandnatural.com and click on Soap of the Month on the menu bar. Take care. Thank you for watching.